right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Veterinary Orthopedic Clinic, and HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. So, appreciate having all of you here today. It is a gray, overcast, cold, windy day. Perfect day for Jay Johnson to have his introductory season press conference. So that's coming up later this afternoon, almost baseball time. So baseball Tigers, Jay Johnson will meet the media later today to preview the entire season. Tigers have practice and all that stuff. Saints continue looking for a new head coach. They have formally gotten permission now to interview Byron Leftwich and Aaron Glenn. Many people still believe, obviously, that Dennis Allen is the prohibitive favorite to be named Sean Payton's successor. But they have to go through a process, so we're starting to see some of the names that are going to get interviews. So exciting as that process moves along. Thursday, 2 jobs were filled, if not formally. Matt Eberflus, the Colts DC, he's going to be the new head coach in Chicago. And the Broncos have hired Nathaniel Hackett. That's significant because Hackett's the Green Bay offensive coordinator, so there's some thought that if Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay, people are already thinking he'd go to Denver. And now his offensive coordinator being in Denver seems like that's even more of a chance. So let's say some good mornings here. Let me know what y'all have, what's percolating today. Tiger basketball team will be up and out to Fort Worth to go take on TCU tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. So, sorry. Let me know what y'all got. Got a session today with Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions at 9 a.m. So I'm going to bring Drew to school. That's I'm a little cash today. But bring Drew to school and head over to see Crystal. Give a back right. All right, y'all have, let me know what y'all got. Fire away. Randy Dabdoob, Kelly Gross, Brian Wynn, Deborah Cowart, good morning. Kelly Presley. It's a tough loss for Kim Mulkey and her team last night at Arkansas. It was indeed a little one-sided, but you know what? You go on the road, it's hard to win. I think we have all been just horribly spoiled by the early success the program has had, where a team has had, let me say, where we've come to just be stunned when they lose any game. But back-to-back losses now for Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers. They lost back-to-back road losses. They lost at Florida by a point, 73-72. Now they lose at Arkansas, 90-76. So Lady Tigers 5-3 through 8 games, 10 conference games to go. So, I'm sorry, 8 conference games to go. They play 16. Men play 18. So, home game against Kentucky on Sunday. Home game against Kentucky on Sunday, 1 o'clock. See if they can bounce back. Let's see. Ricky Lambert, Jerry DeLucky, Brant Roban, Morning Scone, chilly morning here in Knoxville. Get the pleasure of going on Audrey's field trip today. Y'all have a good day. Go Tigers. That's awesome, Brant. Well, enjoy time with your daughter. That's really great. Field trip days were tons of fun as kids. You get to get out of school and go do stuff. That was pretty cool. You know, it was fun when you get a day off of normal school, get on a bus and go do something. So enjoy. Robert Martin, what's going on with girls basketball? They lost 2 games. I mean, that they won single-digit games last year. So, I don't know. They stubbed their toe. And on the road in conference play against 2 good teams. Happens. Hey, Dad, good morning. That's my point, though. What's going on? Well, they lost 2 road games to really good teams. Hey, Dad, good morning to Sean Moore. Morning. Flores, Allen, and Leftwich would all be great hires. Yeah, look, I think there's a pool to Sean of coaches that And I would throw Eric Bieniemy in that mix, who honestly, of all of them that you mentioned there, Bieniemy would be my choice if it wasn't Dennis Allen. I think Allen's still the favorite. It had a really, really tough go of it. His first head coaching opportunity in Oakland. Terrible situation. I think second go around, there's reason to believe he'd do better second go around. And you would maintain so much of the structure, the continuity, the culture that already exists that's been built over the last 16 years. So Dennis Allen makes a ton of sense if he's the guy. If not any of the ones you mentioned there, I think would be really good. Devin Kelly, what's good? Kyle Milliken, Sean Payton movie released on Netflix last night. I guess I have to get Netflix then. Am I the only remaining human that does not have Netflix? I remember Eric and I at one point years ago subscribed. This is probably like before Drew. We subscribed to Netflix, but every time we'd say, hey, let's watch a movie. We go scroll Netflix. I guess this is before Netflix started producing its own content and all that stuff. Like, they had gobs of movies, but there's nothing we wanted to see. So we canceled it. Anyway, I guess it's changed a lot since then. That's probably 7-8 years. Pat Huseman, Josh Higginbotham, good morning. Let's see, the Saints are interviewing Brian Flores. I'd love him. What your thoughts? So Flores is interesting. Let's see. Okay, that just dropped about an hour ago. So I would be totally good with that. That was the big surprise that he got fired, right? Because, I mean, only coach ever to lose 7 straight and then win 7 straight. Really nice rebound and had a winning record. And I think the surprise there was that because he had success, they fired him, but he butted heads over their future with Tua. So New Orleans is an attractive place because you have that support from owner, GM on down, right? But yeah, I mean, if Flores was the guy, I'd be fine with that. But Flores is also a guy that I think is the most appealing of the candidates out there. I mean, he's interviewed for basically every job. He's interviewed for the Giants job already. I mean, he's been tied to Houston. He's basically been linked to every job that's open. So, is the Saints job the one that's most attractive to him? I don't know, but I'd be down with it. Trivia Carter, Wendell Norman, good morning. Still believe the Saints will keep the coaching choice in house. Well, I mean, look, if that's the case, it would be Dennis Allen. And I still believe that's like if sports books are putting out betting odds for who's going to be the next head coach, Dennis Allen would be the prohibitive favorite. That's not even a question. But you have to go through the process, and in going through the process, you never know what you might find. If someone may go through the interview process and just blow you away, and you end up hiring that person. So, Joey Vincent, let's see. I guess that's Texas Longhorn 504, Morning Scone. If Dennis is made the head coach, who comes in as the DC? You see, that's the thing, though. So I don't think he brings in a DC. I think Ryan Nielsen gets elevated. So, like, that's the appeal, right? Is if Dennis Allen becomes the head coach, you've already got Pete Carmichael as OC, and then Ryan Nielsen likely just gets elevated to defensive coordinator. So your staff stays in place. Your Mrs. Benson, Dennis Lauscha, Mickey Loomis, then Dennis Allen, and Pete Carmichael, Ryan Nielsen. Your staff basically stays in place. Your front office, your scouting department. I mean, we'll see what happens with Jeff Ireland. He interviewed for the GM job in Chicago, but does he get an opportunity somewhere? But for the most part, that's one of the appeals is you've had this great run, you've had a ton of success, you've scouted, you've developed, you've got a great culture in your locker room, continuity among your staff, alignment with the front office. If you hire Dennis Allen, you maintain all of that, as opposed to uprooting this culture you've worked so hard to build to then bring in someone new to plant new seeds. It's not to say that it couldn't work. It's just there's a lot more questions. Normally, whenever you're hiring a new head coach, it's because you fired the last one. It's just so rare that somebody leaves on their own, and after a successful run. Scott McClendon, I don't have Netflix, too busy watching sports, thank goodness. So I'm not the only one. Sean Comiskey, good morning. Agree on Netflix, but now it has some good stuff. Really good original TV. Let's see, do we really have a quarterback problem? We might be the only NFL team that can start 3 different quarterbacks and still win. So they started 4 quarterbacks this year. Jameis, Taysom, Simeon, Ian Book. But yes, Sean, you do have a quarterback problem because while you can win games with that method, with Trevor Simeon, Taysom Hill, that sort of thing, and Book does count. He started a game. While don't tell me he doesn't count. He started an NFL game. He started an NFL regular season game. You started 4 quarterbacks this year. So yes, he counts. You can win games, but you're not going to win a championship. Look at what's transpired. Look at what you're going to see this weekend. Mahomes, Burrow, Stafford, and then Jimmy G. And we can roll our eyes at Jimmy G. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's great. And the 49ers might be a bit of an outlier there with Garoppolo. But they've built a tremendous organization around the lines of scrimmage, really good defense, and all that. I don't think they're getting past this round. I don't think you can win a championship unless if you have a championship quarterback. The exception is Nick Foles in Philly. The exception is 20 years ago Trent Dilfer. You have to have a quarterback that you could saddle up and ride that guy to a title. And none of the guys the Saints have right now are that guy. So with Winston being the exception, it could be. So yeah, I mean, you do. You can win games, but you're not winning championships. So you got to find that guy. Brandon Williams, morning, Matt. Too bad Jeff Fisher took a job in the USFL. And did y'all see Larry Fedora is going to be the head coach of the New Orleans Breakers? I'm interested because, like, as a kid, we had a New Orleans Breakers pennant on my wall, and we just supported things that were New Orleans. So, but I don't remember the Breakers. So I'm gonna be really interested to see them, to see the USFL return. A little blast from the past. Those Breakers helmets running around on the field. I assume they're gonna play at the Dome, but pretty cool. Mr. Jones, good morning. Let's see, Sean, can't wait to hear your NIL news with HUDCO today. Can we get inside info? So HUDCO is, when Terrio was on AFR today, we will announce our HUDCO NIL news. And I think it's going to be really big. So I'm excited about it. We're all excited about it. So, by the way, if you filed an insurance claim for your roof post-IDA or know someone who has, and you've gotten your paperwork, you have your scope of work, you have your approval, a lot of people have done that and they're sitting on it waiting for whatever reason. Call us today, 364-1007, 364-1007, or go to HUDCOroofing.com. Let's get that thing knocked out today. Let's do it today. Let's get it knocked out. Let's get you on the schedule. We can get you a new roof 2 to 3 weeks. Let's see. STL Rocks 2021 YouTube. Hey, man, good morning. Justin Frank, what up? TGIF. Love how every media outlet has us in Capel. Meanwhile, Mickey chuckles. Remember, it's not Mickey. It's Kai Harley. He's the one who is the capologist who creatively manipulates all the contracts to make the money work. Brilliant guy. But yeah, I mean, it's true. Cap hell doesn't exist as long as you have an owner that's willing to front cash. And the Bensons have always been willing to do that. So, I mean, you could always, when you restructure contracts, right, you essentially kick the can down the road. So, let's say this person has a $20 million cap hit. Well, you can lower their base salary, right? You could convert that salary to a signing bonus, but you got to pay them all that money up front. So you convert that money to a signing bonus, and then you can spread that signing bonus out over the years of the contract. So this player now is on the books for more years, whether they're with you or not, but it gives you cap reduction in the immediate short term. So not the most fiscally responsible way to run an organization, but it's how they've gotten around their cap issues for so long. Kyle Milliken, Matt, pretty sure they have $1 million listing on Netflix, but I mean that's fine. But we watched $1 million listing last night, like midnight last night. It's my one guilty pleasure. Kyle DeVille, what's up? Bruce Parker, Narcos makes Netflix worth it. Bill Gallion, good morning. Brant Roban, you have a good feeling about these final group of guys Brian Kelly's trying to snag. Huge weekend, huge recruiting weekend. You got official visitors. You'll have Harold Perkins on campus this weekend. I do. I'm supposed to have a conversation today with someone about NIL and to see if maybe they're working deals to get this last group across the finish line. I will report when I have info. Scott Fields, good morning. Bernard Snyder. Let's see. What grade do you give Brian Kelly since December, filling the gaps of the caliber players that have left? I mean, just because of the Herculean task of trying to rebuild half a roster, he gets an A. And he's had a battle for some of these players now. But to have added 12 transfers already, and they're not done, yeah. And go finish off, Wednesday being signing day, go finish off this class with Harold Perkins and Jacoby Matthews. Okay, now you have my attention. For sure. Kelly Knight, Dale Broussard, you're saying Dennis is promoted to head coach. He would not have autonomy to hire or choose his assistants. Dale, certainly he would, but there's no reason to change it. That's the part of this that's appealing, is what you've done has worked, and all these guys get along and they've worked together, and there's no reason to upset the apple cart. That's the point. Is it's not about having autonomy to hire assistants. It's why would you change something that's working? That's the appeal. Let's see. On your way too early game prediction, do you think we can take care of Tennessee at home this fall? If Tennessee wins, I'll never hear the end of it up here in Knoxville. Can LSU win that game? Sure. I mean, it's in Baton Rouge, and I'm not so sure that I'm super sold on Heupel. The fact that they get Hendon Hooker back is, I think, beneficial. They get their top receiver back too. That offense is going to move the ball. So tall task for Matt House's defense, whoever happens to be playing for it at that time. But yeah, I mean, ask me in October. But can they win that game? For sure. Jonathan Martin, Leroy Arville. I think Dennis Allen will need to go a different direction at OC to make his team. To make it his team. I don't know why you would, but you can. Kirk Taylor, Todd Harris, Catherine Babineau. Unbearable living in Kansas City right now since he's not getting any respect. Catherine, look, I mean, as much as I love Burrow and the guys, I think the Chiefs win this game on Sunday. I honestly think they win and cover. It feels to me so much like when the Saints made the NFC Championship game in 2006 in the first year of Peyton Breeze. And look, I was there. I was in Chicago for that game. And it was just, they just weren't ready. They just weren't ready for it. They were on their way. I mean, they made their announcement that they had showed up to the party. They were a little early to the party, but they showed up. They knocked on the door, rang the bell, and they won a Super Bowl a few years later. And I think the Bengals are going to do the same. But I think Sunday Sunday's about the Chiefs. The Breakers made me think of the show Coach, the Orlando Breakers. Yeah, that was funny. When Hayden left Minnesota State to go coach in the, I guess, do they call it the NFL? Yeah, the mythical Orlando Breakers. They were like an expansion team, and I do remember that in the first draft they traded the pick to Dallas for like a ranch in Texas. The owner, who was Mona from Who's the Boss, was the owner of the Breakers. That's funny. How do people get up and work out this time of day? Bill, in the last month, as I've started to try to overcome my football season binge, I've started to get up and work out at 6. So I normally work out and then I go shower, get dressed, and then do morning Scone. So I love how it starts my day. Like hearing the alarm clock go off sucks, but that's every day. But when you're finished and you're invigorated to start your day, it is really cool. Bubba Tatum, Jason Horn, Jeremy Kling. Y'all smash that like button, please. If you're on YouTube, smash the like, Facebook, like the page, share the post. So always shout out to Brock, y'all. New year, new career. Brock is hiring. If you're looking for a gig, brortho.com. Apply at brortho.com. If you need an orthopedist, of course, go see our friends at Brock. They got all the subspecialties. Kirk, who will have the better legacy, Les Miles or Coach O? That's an interesting question, Kirk. I would need some time to think about that because both have had their legacy stained because of off-field stuff. Both won national championships. Les was here longer. I would need some time to think about that and come up with comps that were similar. Todd Harris, maybe not as skilled, but Kelly's done a nice job filling in with solid, good character players. That I would agree with Todd. Like, for example, you've signed 2 corners. Jark Bernard Converse and Mekhi Garner. Neither one of those guys is as good as Elias Ricks or Dwight McGlothern. So you are not as good at cornerback. Like, that's just not even a question. You took 2 guys that are potential first-round picks. They left for SEC West schools, and now you've got guys that are here trying to maybe increase draft stock. You're not as good. That period. Like, you're not as good there. That's not even debatable. But you're better with those 2 guys than you would have been with Ray Darius Jones, Demarius McGee, and then a bunch of freshmen behind him, right? Now you've got a guy who started 47 games and was all Big 12, a guy who started 19 games and was third team all Sun Belt, but was 6'2" and long. You've got 2 guys who have started in college football, and then behind them, you could supplement with your depth. Maybe McGee and or Demarius McGee and or Ray Darius Jones battle and win a job or part of a rotation, and then it allows you to bring guys like LaTerrence Welsh and Jordan Allen along more slowly. You're better having them than if you hadn't addressed it in the portal. But you're not as good as you were if you had Ricks and McGlothern. Make sense? And I think that's the case kind of across the board with these transfers. I'm running through them in my mind. Like, I'll be interested to see what role Kyron Lacey plays. can he crack the receiver rotation? Mekhi Wingo, I don't think he's a starter at LSU, but I think he'll be part of your defensive line rotation. So you've added numbers, right? The two guys from Arkansas, Fouché and Brooks. I think Brooks could start at your nickel if you kick Sage Ryan back to safety. But both guys are going to play a lot. Dale Broussard, happy to report we booked an appointment with Crystal next week. Long overdue. I'm going this morning. Crystal Poche, Restored Motions. Whoa, it's 7:52. We're almost done here. Yep, bringing Drew to school and then heading over to see Crystal. I need it. Long overdue is right. Oh, man. Let's see a few more on the YouTube side here. Tomas, sorry if you already mentioned this. Matt, what's your take on the fact that 3 Saints candidates have the same agent? Maybe DA is already the guy. The other 2 are just getting a boost. Honestly, Tomas, I don't think much of that. It's the same names that we hear that are getting that are interviewing for basically every job. That's sort of the nature of how it goes. You have hot names in a recruiting site or in a coaching carousel cycle, and they interview for almost every job. I don't put much into that stock. It's different. It's different like in college when you hear this guy is up for that job or they're interested in that, and that could be agents spitting info, just spinning stuff to try to get their candidate's name out there. It's different when you're having a formal interview, right? Michael Tolliver, good morning. Larry Connor, Matt, any good news on Michael Thomas's rehab's going? Sean Payton talked about it. Said he'll be back for sure next year. Travis Broussard, sorry if already discussed what's the latest on Pinson Days and Eason. Should get an update today from Will Wade on those guys. Eason was cramped, so he should be good to go. Don't know about Pinson and Days. Will, after the game the other night, said, well, we'll see. And he should meet the media today, so before they fly to Fort Worth. Trey Guy, Rapid Batches, good morning trivia. I almost canceled Netflix, but Cobra Kai pulled me back in, and my wife loves the show You. Okay, haven't seen it, never heard of it, but it's good. Got the Scone and coffee, need a little hustle, crushing it with the daily. Thank you, Brandon, appreciate that. Yeah, by the way, LSU Daily, today's episode is live already. If you want to go check it out, iTunes, Spotify, LSU Daily. Please subscribe up to the podcast. We appreciate it. I can't imagine what ticket pricing would be for when the Bengals come to town next year. All right, a lot of y'all are asking for the Hudco jingle. Let's do it, considering the NIL news today. Hudco Roofing, I'll tell y'all candidly, we are one roofing contract short of our weekly goal as of this morning. We are one roofing contract. We're going to get it today. We're going to get it. I would love it if it came from someone in the Morning Scone fam. So maybe you've got your insurance paperwork. You are ready to roll for that new roof. You've just been sitting on it for whatever reason. Give us a shout. Let's go. Let's giddy up. HudcoRoofing.com, HudcoRoofing.com. Or call 364-1007. Better off. Burrow's offensive line is like a wet paper bag. If the Bengals win, it will take a miracle, which Joe can produce, so we shall see. I do agree with that. But, man, Melvin Ingram, Chris Jones, that defensive front, it's going to be tough the same way it was last week. And the biggest difference is Ryan Tannehill and Tennessee weren't set up to be able to score, to take advantage of those types of things. Burrow gets sacked. Kansas City gets a short field. You get a sack fumble. KC's going to take advantage of that. That's the big difference with KC and Tennessee. So, anyway. Matt, I like the shirt. Andrew over the shoulder. Yeah, I like this. Little dry fit. LSU. I love the helmet logo. Luther was the best on that shirt. Luther, Dauber. Yeah, they were good. Casey Smith, Matt, did you say GM GameCoin is going to announce an NIL deal this week? I did, and they've leaked it in some places, like our Telegram and Discord, but the big kaboom announcement hasn't come. I don't know if we're planning on doing it today or maybe waiting until next week, but it has been leaked. Like, you can find it. It's been leaked. It's exciting, too. I'm pumped about it. And more to come. More really good ones to come. Kyron Lacey was UL's third best receiver. That's not actually true. I did deal with some injuries, but he was like I think he led them in touchdown receptions. Damon Hinderberger, Keith H., Bryce Burks, good morning, good morning, good morning. What role will coaching play in developing some of these transfer players? Do you think some of these guys could become elite? Elite? No. Like, I don't think anybody's going to be a first-round pick, or if that's what you're talking about. But a lot of them are going to play significant snaps for you this year, and you need that. All right, y'all, I got to bounce. It's 8 o'clock. I got to go. All right, sorry for those that I missed. Y'all have a great day. As always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, brortho.com. You need an orthopedist? Go to Brock. Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Have a great day. LSU Daily is live already. LSU Daily podcast is live. Please subscribe. And AFR3. We'll see you. Have a great day. Peace.